What's going on, guys? I want to welcome you to our brand new series, The Hustle. Before we get into it and I introduce you to our guest, dragon emoji in my hand, let's roll that open. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We have a special edition today where we are talking all about laws, right?
That's right.
I'm not going to intro you. You tell everybody who you are.
Great. I'm Ann Brookes. We've met before.
Once or twice?
Yeah. I'm a tax attorney based in Connecticut. I've got clients all over the place, and you wanted to talk tax and talk small business. You know, tax is about money, so it's an easy topic to have if you perceive it that way. My background is obviously as a lawyer, and I did some litigation, and I was curious how I got into tax. But I found that people who commit white-collar crime and embezzle money don't always report what they've stolen on their tax returns. And so when you're asking them questions in litigation about, you know, the pool table they bought and the new cars that they bought and how much they made or reported on their tax return, and they suddenly say, wait, I'm going to take the fifth, because they don't want to say anything, you realize tax has power.
So how do you draw that line? Let's say you got, I mean, you look at Google, for example, right? Google's got a giant slide in their headquarters. You look at a lot of these companies that are really targeting bringing in millennial employees and are providing some different kinds of perks than you've seen with traditional businesses in the past. Does that open them up to a greater likelihood of being audited? And if so, rightfully, I mean... It
has to be ordinary and necessary for your business in order to be deductible as an expense. But they may find it as part of their infrastructure, you know, and appreciate it. I'm not sure how they report those things, but if they enhance productivity, then I think there's an argument in favor of it.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the red flags. A lot of small businesses and startups aren't necessarily in a position where they can have a chief financial officer or you know, a well-paid accountant to be able to handle all of their books. What are some of those red flags that they can avoid?
Understand what your deadlines are. So if you have payroll, make your deposits on time and in the correct amount, and file your returns on time. Because believe it or not, if you have payroll, you know about this. Every quarter you have to file a return reporting how much you've had in payroll and how much tax that you owe, and supposedly you've paid it along the way in advance. If you're a day late or $1 short on any one of the advanced deposits, you get penalized, even if in the end you've paid the total amount correctly and in full. And those penalties are subject to penalties and interest for being paid late also, and so it compounds itself. You know, if you owe back taxes, my advice is stay current first. You know, don't expand the problem, because you can tackle back stuff, but if you are, you know, taking current money and applying it to the old, you're just creating another debt for current stuff, and it never ends.
Sure. So we look at this document of Donald Trump's tax returns from years ago that there's been a feeding frenzy over, saying this guy doesn't pay any taxes, which we all know to be false, that there are many taxes in many forms that he pays. I found it to be a wonderful opportunity as a business owner to educate all of my friends that don't know anything about how tax code works, to say, listen, when was the last time that you went to your accountant and you said, I want to pay more taxes than I legally have to pay? I mean, did the guy do anything wrong with the little bit of documentation that we have here? And is this something that we see as a standard practice?
Well, generally speaking, you want to be clever within the rules. So as long as you don't break the rules, there's plenty of them out there, and if you're clever enough to understand where you can deduct things, why not, right? Congress has decided that we can do that. And there's two parts. One is, if you have a big loss that means you don't pay taxes this year, it's because you've put money in last year or the year before. But the way we can relate to it in everyday life is kind of like, you know, you go to the grocery store and they have buy one, get two free. And you have a coupon for half the price of the one you're paying for, and then it's double coupon day. So in the end, you get 3 for free. Those are the rules. If you work within them, you know, nobody sees anything wrong with that. And it's the same approach we take with taxes. What do the rules allow, as long as we're not breaking them? And what's the lowest amount of tax you can pay applying those rules? And I don't think anybody has a problem with that. It's just when you look at the scale of Donald Trump's tax return size, then, you know, it's of concern to a lot of people. And if they don't understand, then it's easy to jump to the conclusion that no tax is paid, which isn't the case.
So this is extreme couponing, Trump style.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
I like that. Do you have any words of wisdom that you want to leave business owners with?
Sure. Again, don't stick your head in the sand, because it's going to cost you in penalties and interest typically. Keep records, even if it's crumpled up stuff in a shoebox, because you'll have them. It's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Awesome. Any shameless plugs that you want to give the business? For yourself, how can people follow you? How can people reach out to you if they need some support?
Sure, taxattorneyatlaw.com.
It's a pretty good URL from a marketing perspective. Guys, I want to thank you all for joining us for this edition of The Hustle. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. Let's get that URL right over here in my hand. On Instagram, on Snapchat at The Silent Partner. And I hope you guys all tune in for future episodes of The Hustle. We'll see you back here next time.